Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, a pop-up just appeared on my laptop. Thank you for joining me on a cloudy, rainy day out there this weekend. Soccer season right around the corner. Preseason practices have started. Some high school leagues have started. Brook Memorial's one-day event is less than about a month away, I think, which is a great event over at Drum Point. So today we're going to have a special interview, a senior at Brick Memorial, last year's Goalie of the Year, Shore Sports Network's Goalie of the Year, Giselle Lizardi. Giselle, thank you for taking time out today and
Of
joining me.
course. Thank you for having me.
First, we're going to talk about Brick's run last year. Actually the last, couple seasons. They went through a patch of a few years where they were not competitive, and then the last two seasons, definitely 3 seasons, if they've been up there top 10 in the Shore. Last year, after someone coming so close 2 years ago, last season, you girls won the sectional title, made it to the group semifinal. Just talk about how it felt last year after coming short. We'll go into depth about your sophomore season, but how good it felt after coming so close the year prior to winning that sectional title this past season.
Yeah, so obviously sophomore year I was the backup goalie, so coming in after our starter got hurt and then getting scored on for the winning goal really sucked. But I didn't have the confidence I had coming into my junior year. I had more confidence. So, and the team was just, we had so much chemistry with our team. And to be able to get that revenge, having like the same scenario all over again too, was just, it was a surreal moment.
What was Coach Caruso's message to you girls when you got to Middletown South this year? Before the sectional final.
Yeah, he had so much confidence in us, especially we had such a great preseason. Like we put in so much work during preseason, and it was like a special group of girls too, because he's known most of us since we were young. So yeah, it was just obviously as twins being seniors too last year together, it was all about doing it for the seniors as well. So he had so much confidence in us to win that game.
And you bring up, he does a lot of things in the off season. I know you it's the retreat and
Yeah.
that. Just talk about the culture he's built, being there, 30 years, going over 30 years now, and what it means to be part of something where where he tries to make everyone seem like it's a family atmosphere.
Yeah, it really is a family. We do the alumni game every year, and seeing how many girls and boys come back, it really is such a family. And the retreat really helps make everyone closer. Coming in on my sophomore year, I was obviously really nervous, and even the seniors that year, like they helped welcome everybody, and everybody's just so welcoming, and it's a real family here.
Now, this past season, um, you can right out of the gate, that Howell game, um, you girls went up, but they really put some pressure on in the second half, and you really kind of emerged right from the get-go that you were going to be one of the top goalies this season. You brought up that you went into, you had a lot more confidence. Is it a different mindset in knowing that, this job was yours from the get-go, that you were going to be the number one goalie going into the season?
Um, yeah, kind of, because last year was a real, well, not last year, now last year was junior year, but my sophomore year was a real learning experience. Learning from Haley and our trainer Richie, who was the goalie for the boys, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Learning from both of them was, sitting on the bench with Richie and just him telling me stuff as the game was going on helped. Um, and yeah, kind of, I still had a younger goalie, the sophomore Vic.
Yep.
And she still pushed me a lot. She's been a goalie much longer than I have. So there was stuff I learned from her too along the way. So yeah, I was confident that I had the spot, but it was still always a competition because you never know what can happen.
Do you think, having a competition, and not necessarily just for you, but having competition other spots on the field too, brings out the best in the players.
Yeah, of course. I know some players that like got confident with their spot and then mid-season they're like, oh, like let's try someone else out here, and it really pushed them to have to work harder, and it just made the team all around better having competition.
Now, you transitioned to goalie after your freshman year. How difficult what was that for you? You know, from going from well, first of all, where did you play on the field before that?
I played center back.
Center back. So how did you find that transition to goalie, and what made you want to play goalie?
Yeah, so at first I didn't want to play goalie. Like when I was younger, I played all around the field. Like I played forward, I played a little bit of midfield, and it was mostly defense. Um, but our goalie had left our team, so my coaches were like, "Hey, like, um, we need a goalie just temporarily, and we think you'd be good at it. So would you mind just trying it out a little bit until we can get a permanent goalie?" So I was like, I didn't want to, but I was like, yeah, like whatever the team needs me, I'll play. So I said I'd try it out. Um, and yeah, I just ended up sticking with it. They thought I was good at it and ended up liking it. Yeah.
It takes a special mentality to play goalie,
Yeah.
especially when you have players crashing in on the net, and you can't be jittery or nervous or hesitant.
Hmm.
So if you made that transition, especially in the short time that you've had to make that transition, it wasn't like seventh or eighth grade, basically. So it was your club team that came to you about switching goalie.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, my dad always told me that I should be a goalie because I played baseball over at Brick American. And he always told me to be a goalie because I had the hands for it. And I was always like, no, like I'd never be a goalie. I love center back.
Um, what do you made some remarkable saves this past season? Which one sticks out?
Um, I had some good 1v1 saves. Those are like my favorite ones to make. But there was one that I had. It was a double save against. I actually don't know who it was against, but I had a double
That
save.
I think that was that in the state? That I think that was the state game, one of the state games.
It was late in the year, so it could have
Yeah,
been.
I think it might have been the Shawnee game. What? Because you had the double save. I think it was off a PK and then
Oh,
up,
that yeah,
right?
that's a
Yeah.
different one actually. I'm not talking about
Oh,
that
that
one,
was
but that's a
that.
different one. Yeah.
So you've made some. If I did a list of top 10 saves, you would probably be up there. A handful of times probably on that list. So um, and the talent in goalies in the shore is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Now, one more question for last season. Uh, the NJSA, they recognized you for, going up to Allie Greco, who had a great season at Middletown South. Just what made you, do that? And, just, and, whatever you don't have to tell me what you said to her, but just what made you acknowledge, her after the game?
Yeah, that was actually the defender
Oh,
that
the defender.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I just remember I was celebrating with my team and all the kids from our school came running onto the field. So I just remember like I was hugging one of my teammates and like while I was hugging them, I saw her behind there and we were all like right around her. So I just felt I know how it felt last year and it was a really bad feeling. So I just went up to her and told her like pretty much that it was a really good game and stuff and that she played really good. And yeah, I had like the same feeling, so I just knew what it felt like.
Okay. That's great. And it's great, it's great that the state actually saw that, recognized you for good sportsmanship. So let's go back, how old were you when you first started playing soccer?
I was 3.
Three? That's
Yeah.
about the right age. Did you play any other sports when you were younger? Well, you said baseball.
Yeah, I played baseball. I did flag football. I did like gymnastics, tap, ballet. I actually did wrestling for a year in middle school. I think it was 6th grade. And then I did basketball for a year.
What was it about soccer where that was the sport that, that you fell in love with?
Yeah. I don't really know. I think as a little kid, it was just fun to just be running around a field. There was no rules really, so it was just fun to be running on the field, kicking a ball around.
Who is your club team?
Brick Superstorm,
And who's your coach?
Patrick Schlegenhaft and Vincent Tonino.
How have they helped you improve your game?
I've been on this team since I was 8 years old. So they've like watched me grow up. They know like the right things to say. Just we have a trainer also that trains us. His name's Lance Simic. I have to give a shout out to him because he's been training me since I was 8 too, and the whole team. So they all just push you, and even sometimes when you don't want to hear it, they're still there to push you. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, sometimes players don't want to hear it sometimes, but
yeah,
they
you
just
got to
know
hear it.
they know you could give more than that, or
Mm,
that's what if you have that mentality, you'll just grow as a player. If you're a player that just blocks it
yeah.
out, doesn't want to hear it, then
Hmm.
that's how you don't improve.
Yeah.
Now you played softball this season. Did you play softball last year too?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you find it a difference from playing baseball to softball? Do you find a big difference there?
I played baseball up until I was 12, and
Uh-huh.
then my dad he wanted me to do softball, but I said I didn't want to. And then actually the freshman coach, her daughters played on my travel team with me, so I knew her and she like kind of got me to play my freshman year.
Okay.
And yeah, I enjoyed it. The ball is a lot bigger, so I thought it'd be a lot easier, but it's heavier, so it doesn't go as far. But overall, it's not that much different. I enjoy both of them.
You had a couple home runs this past season, right?
Yeah.
Now, what's your family meant to you, you know, as far as your growth and, just being there for you?
Yeah. My mom and dad are like my number one supporters. My mom like never misses a game, whether even she hates watching softball and baseball and stuff, but she never misses. And my brothers, I have two older brothers and they both played sports in high school. So just growing up, it was always competitive between them and they just made me better by they never let me win. So when I finally got to it, I knew I was doing something right.
That's good. That would have been my next question. How competitive it was out in the backyard. So you
Yeah.
answered that. Um, I just drew a blank. If it comes up, I'll remember. You're going into freshman year of high school. What goals did you set for yourself?
Um, well, having two older brothers who played in high school, I really wanted to make a name for myself because everyone always knew me as like Ruben and Jordan's little sister, or even my dad. He coaches over at Brick American, so even they all knew me as her daughter, well, his daughter. So yeah, I just really wanted to make a name for myself and be known.
When freshman year soccer, that was that was like the first big year Brick Memorial came in. Like they had a good season. That
Yeah,
was one you lost in a shootout to
the
Hopewell
Hopewell Valley.
Valley. How I know you were a freshman, but what do you think the team learned from that? Because I know Billy was upset. Coach Caruso was I think upset for a full year, and that's a long bus ride back. What do you think the team took away from that defeat? Because the next two seasons were pretty remarkable.
Yeah, so our team outshot them. I don't even know, but it was a lot. We had a lot of shots against them and they didn't have many against us. So I think the biggest thing that as a team we learned was that it doesn't matter how many shots you take if you can't get in the back of the net, like you're not gonna win. So just really prioritizing getting a goal early and holding on to it.
That was in the semifinal round.
Yeah.
Um, I want to talk about the Central games. I know, junior year, your sophomore year, Haley was in that. But just talk about that rivalry the last two seasons. The games against Central are always so remarkable, and it seems to bring out the best in both teams.
Yeah, Central's a really good team all around the field. Um, this year was tough because we had the early lead, but yeah, they're a really great team, and it's always a competitive game between them.
I think that game you had one save, you came out. I think it was almost like a 1v1 that,
Yeah.
that could have put the game, that could have sealed the game, and you kept the team in it. So I know, you brought up Haley. She had a great senior season. What were a couple things that you were able to learn from her?
She was taller than me, so she was very good at those higher balls. So she helped me with those. And then just in practice, like she'd always help me with communicating and just like the little things, punting, distribution. She was just so supportive too. Every opportunity I got, she was always cheering for me and stuff.
What was something you really wanted to improve on this past season?
Definitely communication because I can be a little quiet sometimes. Um, and then just distribution.
Yeah, communication's key for goalie because you could see,
Yeah.
and not just people don't realize it's not just to your defenders. You see the whole field back there. And with your experience of actually being a field player, that could be, big if you
Yeah.
if you if you notice something. So that's pretty big. Now, going into next year, first question I'm going to have is, what do you hope to pass down to the underclassmen?
Um, I just hope that they always play with confidence. Throughout high school, I learned that when you play with confidence, you play much better because you're not hesitating. Yeah, I just hope they always have confidence, even if they have a bad game, like it happens to everybody, and to just be a leader out there.
Now, what are two questions? Personally, do you have any goals for yourself next year? I mean, you had a pretty remarkable year, made all sure. But do you have any goals for yourself next year?
Um,
I say next year, it's only like 2 months away.
yeah, I know. Um, well, as a team, I'm just hoping that we can all get back to the sectional title again and just shutouts pretty much.
Sure.
Yeah,
You bring back good part of your defense, right? I think
yeah.
I thought Reese had a very good season as a
Mhm.
sophomore last season. I actually got phone calls after the Middletown game from Middletown parent whose daughter graduated prior, and they even said they didn't know who Reese was, but they said the job she did on their top scorer was unbelievable.
Yeah,
So it's always good when you get compliments from opposing. And the RBC coach called me after you girls played the first game of the season, early in the season, and said how
mhm.
remarkable you were in that game. So that must feel good when you get those things from you hear those things from opposing
Yeah.
teams or parents. All right, you ready for we'll do some rapid fire questions?
Okay.
All right. First one, what's your favorite TV show?
Stranger Things.
Okay. I watched the first two seasons. I don't it's not my type of show. I don't know. Favorite movie?
Oh, that's tough. Probably Wonder.
Wonder? What's that
Yeah.
about?
It's like this kid named Augie Pullman. He has like uh a disability, and it's just about him going to school after being homeschooled for a while and stuff. It's based on a true story too.
I'm looking at oh, I see it. All right, I'll check it out. I'll have to watch that movie. Favorite thing to eat?
Chicken parm.
All right. I just right before you started, I had chicken parm with vodka sauce.
Ugh.
Um, what is your go-to song to get you focused or pumped up before a big game?
I have such a mix. I listen to so many random songs before games, Probably all of the lights.
Okay. Favorite school subject?
Math.
Something you like to do in your free time when you're not doing sports?
Um, Hang out with friends, or I love going to the beach.
That's the short conference answer right there.
Hmm.
The beach. I would say 90%, 95%. It's the beach answer, which makes sense where we are.
Yeah.
Um, when your playing career is over, do you still want to be involved with the sport, whether coaching or training?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to coach a team.
Yeah. Coach the little kids?
Yeah. Maybe bring up a team, start them young, and then be with them.
Make a save here. What would you rather do? Game-winning home run or make a save on a PK?
Oh, that's a tough one. Um, Probably game-winning save on a PK.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mixed it up there. Usually I ask like baseball questions, like robbing somebody of a home run or hitting a home run. So I before we talk, your future, what are some traditions at Brick Memorial? Because I know beside you, we talked about the retreat, but what other traditions does Coach Caruso have there?
Um, we do this thing called Old Man on the field before every game. I think it's every home game. And we just kind of stand in a circle and we all read a line from a paper. And we also, I forget what this one's called, but we do like a little chant on the bus at every away game, and then we do it at home games in our team room. We slap signs on the way out to home games. We hit the doors. Yeah, there's a lot of traditions that we do.
How many more brick wall things does he have in that office that the
The
seniors sign?
tiles.
Yeah, the
Oh yeah.
tiles.
Yeah, there's probably not much room left.
They
Might have to
can't.
go into the hall soon.
But I think that's what makes playing at Brick Memorial, so fun that he has all these traditions and the history that you have at that school, and hopefully, you know, you have a pretty good class coming back this season. Brooke,
Mhm.
you know, so it just graduated a lot of scoring. That's
Yeah,
Yeah, so you're gonna need to, hopefully there's some players there ready to step up to replace the scoring of the twins, Gabby and
yeah,
Chloe, a lot of goals graduated that season, last
yeah.
season.
I can see Brooke having a really good scoring season this year.
Yeah, because she played more, she played midfield, but more like a defensive role. I could see her
Yeah,
being very more involved with the offense because she's such a talented player and she doesn't get the recognition that she deserves because,
yeah.
stats aren't there, but soccer people know how good she is. So,
Mhm.
all right. So, college, what are you looking for when you're doing your college search, and you're looking to stay close, or what are certain things that you're looking at when you're looking at campuses?
From the beginning, I've been looking for more smaller size schools. Um, and I mean, I would go far if the opportunity was there, but I'd rather be closer. Like I'd go as far as like Virginia, maybe
Okay.
North Carolina. Yeah.
You rather go south than north?
Um, it
It's
doesn't
good.
really matter. Yeah, I don't want to go to like Florida. I really don't want to play in the heat.
It gets hot down there.
It can get hot, yeah.
And it's weird because when I first started doing these interviews during COVID, it was everybody was always saying, "Oh, Florida, we want to go to Florida." Now
Mhm.
I hear it less and less. More people want to stay closer to this area than go down to Florida. So, all right, so that's that. Um, all right, last question here. What advice would you give your younger self?
Um, just to be confident, like I've witnessed it firsthand, like be not playing with confidence just makes your game worse because you're hesitant on everything you do. So just play with confidence and always have fun.
I actually got one more question, sir. You brought up earlier when Middletown South scored that goal, did you take it did you feel you let the team down? Like I'm just thinking this is more like as a goalie mentality, not particularly that
Yeah.
game. But if you give up a goal and and that was the game winner, and you take it personal that you feel you let the team down?
Yeah, well, playing goalie in the beginning, like when I first started, was hard. I took everything really personal, and I was a big baby. I'd cry after like everything. But yeah, my coach, Coach Pat, he helped me with like really building up my mentality. So by the time I got to that point, obviously you're still gonna take it personal. Like
Yeah,
coming in after your starter gets hurt and then getting scored on for the game winner isn't at all a good feeling. So I did take it personally, but my team was very supportive of me. Like,
yeah,
yeah, they helped me get through it.
yeah. There's 10 other players on the field with you.
Hmm.
I would have said you should have kept the ball up there, but I get it. I get it. So, all right, yeah. So that's my last question then. So, Giselle, I appreciate you taking time out today and joining me, and I cannot wait for the season to start. And good luck to you and Brick Memorial.
Thank you so much.
When's the retreat planned?
August 18th.
18th. That's right. I think. When did he tell me? When's that event at Drum Point?
I think it's August 10th.
Yes, I think you're right. So anybody that wants preseason soccer, Coach Cruz he gets teams all over the state to come there,
Yeah,
and
it's a really fun tournament.
yeah, he does a good job, and he does a really good job with the scheduling.
Mhm.
The weaker teams play the weaker teams. He doesn't, schedule, a top team versus,
Yeah.
to make it competitive. So yeah, and it's usually packed there too. You gotta get there
Mhm.
early. So.
Yeah, get there early to get that parking.
Yeah, usually I park my Jeep on top of a curb or something that it's illegal, but no, because there's usually a softball event going on too.
Oh,
Yeah, Drum Point.
yeah, it's always my mom dropping me off, so I don't pay attention to the parking.
So, all right. Thank you for taking time out and good luck your senior year.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.